Hey guys, I hope all is well. Welcome back to the Truth Talk podcast. I'm back here with MI.
What's good?
In today's episode, we're going to be talking about the tragic passing of PNB Rock. I personally wasn't going to do this for now, but so many of you guys have been requesting, sending me messages on Instagram and commenting on videos that you guys wanted my opinion. So I'm definitely going to get into that today. And we're also going to be talking about this article that I found claiming that Christianity will fall by 2070. And we're going to get into that as well because I found that very interesting. The first thing we're going to be talking about is this PNB Rock situation. Like I said, I personally did not want to get into this right now because I feel like so many people are jumping into this PNB Rock situation just to capitalize off the situation for clout and attention. I try to avoid, situations like this. But I'm not going to deny, I found the situation strange. I found the situation strange. He told me himself that it wasn't adding up. And we have been talking amongst each other over the past few days since this situation happened on why we don't think that this was just a regular situation. The details of the incident, they speak for themselves. Where we come from in the Bronx, things like this happen all the time. We have heard and we have seen things like this happen in the past, but usually it doesn't end how it ended for PNB Rock. Right or wrong, when we hear of situations like this back in the Bronx, people usually get robbed, but no one usually ends up passing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. That's when it happens like that, it's because it was a hit.
Exactly. That's exactly how I feel. But we're going to get into that in a little bit. We're going to lay some backstory to this entire situation. For those, I'm pretty sure all of you already know that PNB Rock passed at the Roscoe's Chicken Spot in LA. Unfortunately, the situation happened and PNB Rock passed. Now, a lot of people online have been talking about the situation, but they keep bringing up the Empire connection. I was looking into the Empire connection. I've been looking into the Empire connection for the last few days. The only thing that doesn't add up with the situation, he wasn't signed to Empire during the time he passed. From what I see from my research, he is an independent artist without a distribution with Empire. His distribution deal with Empire passed. But this is another independent artist that for some reason was targeted. Like we said at the beginning, if the situation was just a robber usually wants to get the item and get out without anything happening in the situation. They don't want to have to use violence. They don't want to have to do anything besides just pull up, scare the person who they're trying to scare, intimidate them, get what they want from them, and then get up on their day as quickly as possible as well.
Yeah, man. How he went up in there? Supposedly they said that I seen another podcast and they were talking about he had an eyewitness who told him that they went in there, they let it go on him, then they were only able to snatch one chain. Those are his words.
To me, the situation just doesn't add up. If a robber was just there to rob him, and no one is saying PNB Rock pulled anything out of him, had anything on him. It wasn't reported that there was anything that PNB Rock had on him. So I don't see why he would have to do that to PNB Rock if PNB Rock didn't really...
But listen, you seen the video with the dude and him going back and forth.
I'm going to hit you on a one-on-one, so I'm going to see you pull up real big. You
ain't gonna do that.
All right, bro. You hear me?
Bet. I'm gonna make you eat that.
Well, really, the other dude wasn't going back and forth at all. He was just telling him, like, I'll snatch your chains. And then he said, you're going to swallow that bet at the end of the video.
What he is referring to is there's a video online that's going around that's getting more views now after what happened to PNB Rock that shows PNB Rock engaging in a heated argument with another individual who seems to tell PNB Rock that he's going to take his jewelry or something in that sense. But the problem is, the only reason why I don't think these two incidents are connected, I might be wrong. It's because of the time frame. The video's a year old. So since the video's a year old, there's a high probability that they're not related, that they're not connected.
No, that's true. But then again, we don't know what their beef was over. It could have been something that the other dude was like, nah, I'm not letting it go. Then this dude was trying to humiliate him on Instagram in front of the world. Some people don't take that lightly. Some people, they hold that grudge and they, and whatever their beef was over, it could have kept going. He told them, he was like, yo, come to LA. So obviously he's from LA.
I'm not disregarding the possibility. There's definitely a possibility that it could have been him or another person that already had it out for PNB Rock and was already looking for him. But let's examine the oddness of the situation. PNB Rock just recently went independent. It is already known that independent artists are not liked within the industry because the major record labels cannot control the artists. The major record labels cannot profit from the artists as much. This is one thing I want to get clear. A lot of people say like artists like Russ, they think that artists like Russ are independent. They think like artists like Young Dolph are independent. But these artists still have distribution deals, which right there neglects anything of them being independent. When a person has a distribution deal, they still go into a deal, a partnership with a record label, and that record label handles the distribution, marketing of their music. So it's the same exact thing. They still have a machine, a record label behind them pushing their music. It's just that it's not a traditional record deal to an extent where the record label completely owns the brand. That's usually what happens in a regular record deal. But when it's a distribution deal, you're just partnering with a record label and you're giving them the responsibility of distributing and marketing your music, basically getting you out there, the same thing that a regular record label would do, for a percentage of the revenue of what you make. Some distribution deals, they still even give advances. You still have a major label behind you. You understand? Like the label is still pushing your music. You're still getting all the major looks. All the big people, they're gonna still talk to you, and you're still working for the Masonic Order. Young Dolph, he was not truly independent. Russ, he has never been truly independent. Russ has always been signed to a distribution deal. By him being an artist to a distribution deal, he's having all the benefits that every other major artist has. So at the end of the day, when these artists fully go independent, what seems that PNB Rock actually did, from what I can see, it doesn't seem he wasn't signed to Atlantic anymore. He wasn't signed to Empire because I can't find anything of him releasing anything since then with Empire. So I've seen him that he released some music with Empire back in 2017. I saw him release something, I think, back in 2018 with them. But his recent projects, I don't see Empire within the credits of the song. But it's still, he's an independent artist. From what you told me earlier, you explained that there was an eyewitness who claims that the person just walked in there, like you said, let go on him, took one chain and then ran out. That seems not like a robbery to me.
That seems personal, or they were working, man. That was a job. But listen, to me personally, I think that was more on the street note. You know, I feel like he was fronting on dudes, disrespecting people. You know, I heard on other videos that I watched that he was rolling with the right people in California. He was protected. He was doing it right. But you know, there's always the enemies watching. You know, the haters, the jealous ones. Remember, man, he was in a poor neighborhood. A broke neighborhood that people don't really go to with money.
That was what I was telling you at first when we first started talking about the situation. It's not a smart idea when you have the notoriety, the fame, and the amount of money, and you choose to wear jewelry like this. You're basically taunting everybody in that area who live paycheck to paycheck.
In a Maybach, you hear me? He was in a Maybach. Let's not leave that out. Across the street from the projects, in a Maybach, a famous rapper with a whole bunch of jewelry on.
I already established this in the Empire video. These artists are worth more gone than they are alive. These artists improve in streams, in relevancy. They make more money once they're gone. Instantaneously, when a situation like this happens, I don't think that it's all because of the street. I look into, is there a possibility that more could be in this story? In the Empire situation, each artist that passed was either big already or about to be big. For example, King Von, when he was with them, he was a big artist. Triple X Tentacion, Young Dolph was getting there. These artists were big and they always had the sense that they wanted to stay independent. Empire convinced them to get in a deal with them, and then they happened to pass away. It's a very long list. King Von, PNB Rock, Draco the Ruler, Mode 3, Young Dolph, Triple X Tentacion. All of these artists are gone, and they signed with these people. This is why the record label is allowed to put a life insurance policy in their contract. I'm gonna tell you exactly why it's done. The reason why is because when a record company signs an artist, they're technically making a large investment in that artist. So for protection reasons, just like anything else in life, there's insurance on that artist. That insurance ensures that if anything does happen to that artist, that the record label gets their $3-4 million back that they just invested in that artist. Like, let's say the artist passes away 3 days after they signed this deal, and the record label just gave them a $7 million advance. The record label would need a way to get that $7 million back. If it wasn't for life insurance, they wouldn't get that money back. Now, that's the way it's supposed to work in theory. In theory, if God forbid an artist passes away after they signed a deal a month later and the record label wasn't able to recoup their money, at least they can claim this life insurance policy. And now they have some of their, they either have all their money back or some of their money back, and they're able to have a safety for it. The thing is, in my opinion, it seems like the record labels are taking advantage of this. It seems like the record labels are realizing their artists worth more gone than they are while they're here. So why not make a few phone calls and set a few people up? They were saying that social media played the large role in this. PNB Rock's post is what led all this to happen. I believe there's a possibility that, yeah, he was targeted through his social media because he was probably being followed already as it was. He was complaining about feeling negative energy just 1 week ago while he was on Academics' podcast. He was telling Academics how he felt that they were trying to line him up and stuff. He probably knew something that we don't know. He probably already was dealing with people that were following him, and
that's what I was getting to. That's what I was saying. He still got problems from the streets too. You gotta remember, man, these dudes are street dudes.
But not in LA. He's not from LA. He's a tourist over there.
But the dude that he was going at it with is from LA.
Look, I'm not at all disagreeing with you. I don't think people should go on blaming his girlfriend and, harassing her and making her feel all sad and depressed. She's already going through it. She was there when it all happened. I've seen a lot of people saying, oh, she set him up. That doesn't make sense to me. Why? There's a million other places she could have set him up. Why set him up in such a public place like that? You understand? She could have had him backdoored in her own place where they live.
But you know what it was? He took her Instagram away from her for 6 months because she was already doing that too much. I guess like posting their locations all the time. So he just gave her back her Instagram the day before that all this happened. She did what she always did, was post a location. Maybe it could have been that, the people watching her Instagram and, oh, look at them, they there, let's go over there,
I agree 100% that he was targeted, but I also feel like there's more to the story. In my opinion, and this is just my opinion, and I'm gonna most likely do a more detailed video into this situation, and that's only if you guys want to see it. If you guys do not want me to make another PNB Rock video, I won't. I only decided to make this one today because you guys asked me repeatedly, and like I said, I'm here for you guys. I have to make the content you guys want to see, so I'm always gonna do that. In this PNB Rock situation, in my opinion, yes, there's a possibility that could all have just been a bad move by PNB Rock or some problems that he got himself into. I'm definitely not disagreeing with that. But we also can't deny the fact that it's strange that all these independent artists, they're getting taken out. They're no longer here. Why is it the independent artists or the ones that sign an independent distribution deal?
You know what I think? I think the Empire only signs problematic artists that they know. If we did do it to this person, it won't look like us because they're in that lifestyle and they're always in so much problems and they thug, they're from the street, or they could do it on their own.
I would agree with you, but the thing is, right now I'm looking at their catalog and they have artists that, like Joji, that's a kid that's a YouTuber. They sign a lot of artists. Their biggest artists are the ones that seem to fall for this. Like King Von, he was a big artist. Mo 3, he was getting there. He was already reaching to a level where he could have eventually hit mainstream. Young Dolph, he was another one that got himself to a level independently, even after when he signed over, I think it was around 2017, he signed with Empire, or 2018, around there. Before then, he was independent. And I feel like Empire is coming to these independent artists, and this is my opinion, this is what I believe. I feel like Empire is coming to these artists, knowing that these are independent artists that are gonna be really successful, convincing them to sign with them because they wanna be independent, they don't wanna sign a deal. So Empire is convincing them, no, you're basically still independent, but we're just giving you the boost and we're only gonna take certain percentage. They lock him into this deal. He has this life insurance policy because he gives them an advance. He has this control over their music now because he has ownership over a percentage of it. And then the artist sadly passes away.
I got a question for you. So what gangster rappers or street rappers that they have under their label right now that are living?
They got Boozy, 42 Doug.
They got 42 Doug?
Yeah, they got 42 Doug, they got Boosie, they got Snoop Dogg, 50 Cent, Mozzie. I think he's in prison though, right?
Yeah, he's serving 1 year.
They got people that are still alive. Don't get me wrong. None of those names that I named are big. You understand? Okay, all right, Snoop Dogg, yeah, he was big at one point. 42 Doug is like a B-list artist. He's not even, a mainstream big artist. None of these artists are at the level of a Triple X Tentacion, a King Von, not even a Young Dolph, or even Draco the Ruler, who has a song with Drake. Now, I do want to say this. When you look up Empire artists, PNB Rock still pops up. So there's a possibility that he still was an Empire artist. I just can't find any more credible proof because I've been trying to go through his catalog and it doesn't show that he was Empire. And then he says himself that he was independent towards the end of his career. So in my opinion, there could be an Empire connection, but he definitely was an Empire artist and he definitely was going independent. And the industry does not like independent artists. They don't because, number one, they can't control them. This is one problem that the industry has. We know that they need to control every artist so that they can push an agenda. If an artist gets big and then goes rogue, does their own thing, they have no way of controlling that influence, pushing out to their people. So I feel like independent artists would always be targeted in the music industry. They're always going to be the ones that are targeted because they're the ones that pose a risk, a threat to the industry. They're not being dangled over a string like a regular record label has over all the rest of the artists. They're not puppets, because they're able to say what they want and do what they want and not have to be told by a record label what's acceptable. So the record label does not appreciate independent artists. I saw Academics at least post 5, 6, 7 videos. So Academics made thousands and thousands of dollars off the passing of PNB Rock. Not one video, not two, not three. He made like 5 or 6, 7 videos. He re-uploaded old interviews. And this is crazy because not that long ago, Joe Budden was coming at Adam 22. For Adam 22, posting videos of Kevin Samuels after he passed. Now we see Academics doing the exact same thing with PNB Rock. And let's move on. Let's go into the next thing. The next thing we're going to be talking about is this article that I found. This article, I found it interesting for a few reasons. I talked about this a few times on this channel. I feel like Christianity is the only religion that is consistently attacked.
Yeah, I feel like it's attacked a lot because we always hearing about these crazy things about the Christian people, right?
Did you know that Netflix made a movie where they showed Jesus as a gay man?
What?
Yeah, that was the entire plot of the movie. Did you know that they have a show on Adult Swim called Black Jesus? You see Kendrick Lamar with the crown of thorns, right? Diamond iced out. You see the baby with on top of the cross, right? All this stuff is symbolizing one thing. In my opinion, I believe they're trying to tell us either the Antichrist is here or the Antichrist is arriving.
When you put it like that, yeah, man. Why try to eliminate religion?
It's not a religion, it's Christianity. It's an article by a website called Christianity Today. The article says, decline of Christianity shows no signs of stopping. New study projects that religious identity in the US will drop below 50% by 2070. So by 2070, they're expecting Christianity to fall under 50%. And they're saying that it's going to continue to aggressively decrease from there. By the time 2070, 2080, they're basically going to phase out Christianity. There's a lot of reasons why this is interesting. Number one, I always say this. John Lennon, a long time ago, he was quoted saying that the Beatles and rock and roll were going to outlive Christianity and that the Beatles were already more famous than Jesus. And he said this years ago. John Lennon let us know years ago that Christianity was going to be targeted because they said that rock and roll was going to replace Christianity. Hip-hop is just the evolution of rock and roll. Most of these artists nowadays, what do they call themselves? Rock stars. Hip-hop is the evolution of rock and roll. This is why these artists are so anti-religion. So many of these artists straight up tell you that God doesn't exist and they don't believe in God, or they show themselves worshiping the devil, just like we saw recently with Playboi Carti. Tattooing Satan behind his neck, covered in these demonic tattoos, Baphomet on his stomach. Adam 22, going out and saying Lucifer is good, the devil was good, that there's nothing wrong with the devil. You need to see what this industry is doing. They're painting Lucifer as the good guy, and they're painting Christianity and Jesus as this corny religion, and if you worship God or Christ, you're corny and no one messes with you, because that's what they're doing.
That's crazy. Now that you say that, I couldn't agree with you more, bro. Couldn't agree with you more.
Yes, and there is nothing corny about worshiping Christ and God.
Listen, I'm gonna be honest. It can't get any more clear than the way you just said it right now. It can't get any more clear than that.
And that's how I've always seen it. The industry has a problem with Christianity because the industry has always been against Christianity. You don't see them say nothing about no other religion. No other religion gets attacked. There's no shows mocking any other religion. It's just Christianity because it represents Christ and being saved, which is the number one thing they don't want for us. Now, I'm not telling any of you that you guys have to be Christians or not. That is not my goal with this. But I just want you to think, why are they attacking Christianity so much? Why is it that Christianity is the religion that they're saying that by 2070, it's going to drop? A religion that It was the dominant religion in our country. They're telling us that by 2070, it's going to be non-existent, basically, and it's going to continue to phase out. You have to put this in perspective. John Lennon told us years ago, one of the biggest rock groups in the world, the Beatles, the most popular, who at one point were worshipped by the entire world. They told us back then, since then, that this day would be coming. They told us that rock and roll would outlive Christianity, and that's what we're seeing. Hip-hop is the evolution of rock and roll. The artists now represent the new rock stars, and they all push the same mentality, to do what thou wilt. That's what music is pushing. Do what you want to do, be your own God. And that's what John Lennon was saying.
Listen, when you said that right there, man, it's clear, man. It's really clear. They got our kids out here, like literally, we have our children committing crimes that they're getting 40 years, 30 years sentences for. And it's mostly, like I said, like you said, because of that music. It's brainwashing them, and it's teaching them to praise the wrong religion. It's not even showing them nothing about God or trying to get saved. It's just showing them to be demonic.
Exactly. And it's not only that. They are making those who worship Christ and God, they're making us look crazy. They're making us look silly. They're making us look like we don't know what we're talking about and all this nonsense. Even the Masons will not allow you in their fraternity if you don't believe in God. You know why? Because they see those that don't believe in religion as the gravel that they walk on. The fact that they're telling us now that by 2070, this is going to happen, that should let us all know that we need to step up what we're doing, and we need to make a change now. You see how easy it is to see things once you start connecting the dots. Why attack Christianity?
I'm going to say this. They're attacking Christianity, but I feel like they just attacking any religion who believes in Jesus Christ and in God.
Christianity is a blanket religion. There's Catholics and all that. All that falls really within Christianity because it's pretty much the same belief in Christ.
Yeah, I'm a Catholic.
So yeah, when I say Christianity, I mean all those who believe in Christ. If you believe in Christ, I'm referring to you. They're telling us that Christ will no longer be existent by the year 2070, that they're going to phase him out. That's basically what I see this article telling me.
That's crazy. I mean, it makes sense. It makes sense the way they're pushing this agenda and everything. Like you said, you praise God, you corny, you soft. You know, they have that joke, oh, if you scared, go to church. Like, so yeah, it makes a lot of sense.
I'm not judging nobody. If you are any other religion or you don't believe in God, I'm not judging you. But I want you to see what I'm seeing. Why are you guys targeting one specific type of belief, one specific religion? Why you guys mock it with these comedies that you won't do about any other religion? Why do you guys make fun of it so much or call us corny because we worship God? Those are the type of things the industry that's pushing this agenda wants. They want you to think having nice cars and money and all this is what's important because they control all of that. They don't control God. You understand? They can't change you. They can't control you if you're not giving into the things that they want you to give into. They control money. They control clothes. They control what's popular. If you get consumed by that, then you start to forget about God. You start to care. You stop caring about God, and you start caring about the things that they created for you to care about. The cars, the clothes, the money. And then you have all that and you don't understand why you're still not happy because only God allows you true happiness. Money is only temporary. It only gives you comfort for the moment, but it doesn't fix what's really wrong with you.
Yeah, they even have on Netflix, they got a show called Lucifer. You ever saw that?
I don't think it's a Netflix show, but I think they have it on Netflix. Yeah, I've seen it on Netflix as well, yes.
Yeah, and it's like he's rich. It's crazy, man. And then it's like,
not only that, but they painted him as a good one, as a
great one, falling in love.
Exactly, as a good character in a good light. They're not trying to show him in a negative way. And it's like all these demonic shows. People say, what's wrong with these demonic shows? All these demonic shows with real Masonic and occultic imagery within the shows, and then they're showing the devil as a good character or these demons as good characters. It is glorifying and painting these demonic entities and these demonic forces in good light. There's nothing good about demonic energy. There's nothing good about the Antichrist, you know? That show Little Demon, the whole show is about the Antichrist. That's what the show is about.
I seen the show. It's weird. I was like, you know what? I can't finish this.
I want you guys to see it for yourself. Why is Christianity being targeted? Why are they telling us by when they're going to phase it out? Why did John Lennon say that Christianity would be non-existent and that rock music would take its place? Why is DaBaby, Kendrick Lamar, Demi Lovato, all these artists painting themselves as Christ? It's open, it's right in your face. This is what you need to pay attention to. You need to connect the dots and you'll be able to see the signs for yourself. This industry is trying to get rid of Christianity. This industry is trying to make us forget about God, and it's succeeding. And that's the scary part. Look at our world today. You be in the Bronx all the time. Would you not say that crime overall has increased?
That's all it's about. Like, literally, that's all it's been about lately. Like, you got these crews going against the next crew because I made a song about you, and they really hurting each other over this. Like, it's not just like, oh, it happened today and then gonna happen for another 2 months. No, this thing is happening every day. You know, like these kids can't even walk through each other's projects.
Would you also agree that it started increasing when drill music got hot?
Yeah, of course. When we was growing up, it was really wild. We remember that, right?
Yeah, of course, but that was in the 90s and 2000s. That's different. That's a different time period. But also in the 2010s, things were a lot calmer.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, now the music, before it used to be projects against projects, and you know, they would keep it like that. Now it's projects against a block, this block, and it's crazy, man. It's really crazy.
I always be worried because I have family that still stays out there, friends, people, and I always worry. The worst thing about New York is that these kids are being told to be the most gangster. You want to be top, you want to be the best, you got to be the most. You got to prove that you're the biggest gangster. So that's why we're seeing so much of these crimes. If these same people would just look at God for guidance, instead of looking at these rappers who are telling them pick up these sticks and go drill and go do this, if they had better guidance, if they had someone who would tell them, listen, that's not the way. But the thing is, the music is telling them it is. The music legitimately tells you that if you want to be popular, you want to be looked at as a top G, as a big goon, you have to catch bodies, you gotta take people's things, you gotta be in the streets. That just sounds like a trap to me. That's why pushing God and Christianity away from the mainstream and away from people, it's important. Because you can't convince the world to destroy themselves if Christianity is trying to help them, if God is trying to guide them to a better life. You gotta make them not see that. Everything that we see and consume nowadays is destructive. And then why is our world so destructive? Because people keep continuing to take it all in.
Yeah, man. Listen, you got these little kids hearing this music and they're growing up to be on that type of time. You know, as to us, we teaching our kids right things, you know. Oh, don't even listen to that because we know what the heck that music is gonna do to them. You feel what I'm saying? It's just pushing them away from the truth. And like you said, why target Christianity? Because it's powerful and they know that it's real. And they don't want our children they don't want them to be saved. It's sad.
We're going to end this one right here, guys. I want to thank each and every single one of you. I appreciate you all, and I'll see you guys in the next one.
Peace.
I just wanted to give a special shout out to the Truth Movement members. I truly appreciate every single one of you. If you'd like to further support the channel, join the Truth Movement, or you can join me on Patreon, where I drop exclusive videos monthly. The link would be in the description. Another way you can further support the channel is by checking out the Truthfist store and seeing if you find anything you like. Every purchase you make helps with the funding of Truth Records. The link to the Truthfist store is also in the description. Also, please leave a comment on your thoughts on this video and on any future topics you would like to see me cover on my channel. If you're new to the channel, make sure you subscribe and hit the bell so you can be notified of future videos. If you like this video, please leave a like as it helps other people find these videos. You can also find me on TikTok and Instagram and follow me there. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.